I have to ask you to send me the link directly. There's like so many packages. Do I just buy the complete pack? The entire Conan the Exile pack. There's so many. When was this game
That's
out? I
why I said
remember
that PvP something. The battle.
2018.
Arash can give you the. You know what really sucks about these duty quests is like it's really hard for me to continue on this like Heart of Malice path.
Well, sometimes you pick the
Because
Heart
if
of
you,
Malice.
but if you chase down and punish the dudes,
Mhm.
then they're more likely to do it again. You know,
Well,
because you're taking their power away. I mean, you have kids.
that
You know
goes
what
for the
happens.
same in the Heart of Good path. You spoil them if you treat them less on time. But you can find different ways to even spoil them further.
Well, but you said teach the dudes how to use fire properly. I mean, that's a responsibility thing. So hopefully, if you give them the tools to be responsible, they won't be irresponsible with it. So they may be using fire, but they're not using it incorrectly.
Well, you'll have to be a little patient with them. That's the best thing about parenting. They don't immediately
Right.
do what you
It's not
want,
immediate.
but over time, over generations of dudes, they're extra slow. But over time, they will get it. They will build interesting stuff, and they will learn to use it for good or for evil, depending on how you treat them. Let's not jump too ahead of ourselves. Let's just give them food. That's the basics.
I thought I'm
Just
gonna
really quick,
listen to this.
are we recording this?
Well, that's Thursday. We should be, shouldn't. Let me ask the council if one of them can the wranglers if they can record it.
We have a Craig bot or something in here. Craig is convenient. I like Craig.
Yes, someone one of the mods told me about the daddies told me about the API, and I have absolutely given it a note on the list. The list goes on forever.
Oh, I
It should
know.
be item 43. The first item is actually from Asterisk to clear the channels, but I keep having SAFs piling up on myself. And then there's also new and interesting people that I meet, and I have this notorious infamy of babbling on and on every time I meet someone, and I just have 1 hour meetings everywhere.
Right, I know.
And then after the day ends, it's just trying to get work done. I'm saying I just need to find the right people to delegate, but find a good talent is I think you either lower your really. Well, are you good for a part-time job over here as a sugar daddy, huh, John?
As long as my company doesn't hear about it, yeah.
Well, well, at least you have some friends over here that's already in here. Oh, it's 10:05. 89 people. That's a good crowd. Let's get this show on the road. I invited your Polemos member, Asterisk, who's also our the council recently promoted. She's just killing every event out there, and she's going to be our co-host, sort of. Well, she's just going to introduce you, and then she'll just leave leave it to us to babble on. Well, take the stage, Asta. This is the first time we have a voice other than my own on the app on behalf of Apeiron. So officially, let's go, Asta.
Okay, thank you. So I'm just gonna here to be like an extra energy for you guys because
Right.
I'm like just wanting to add like a lofi music already because how you two sounds. Okay. So I'm just gonna give a warm welcome to everybody. Good day everyone. Welcome to another Apeiron AMA. I'm Asterisk, your co-host, and live on the stage we have our overlord Lorekeeper, joined by the Polemos side of games, Hot Sauce.
Hot sauce. That's awesome. And
I don't
thank you,
have any
Asta.
hot sauce this morning.
Thank you,
Typically with
Asta.
breakfast, but I do.
Oh, you have hot sauce on for breakfast. That is just incredibly saucy. I bet one of our
Yeah,
console will love it.
I
Okay,
have my rotation. You have to prepare accordingly in life. So
yeah, that's why you start with the hot sauce. What a life! All right, well, let's give the dudes here. A lot of them uh are from other gaming guilds, or not quite new to the space already, but I bet a lot of them have not heard of Polemos yet. Uh, so yeah, let's get a quick intro on yourself and Polemos, and then jump to the other uh, juicy stuff, the hot saucy stuff.
yeah, absolutely. So my personal background, other than dabbling in being a chef and being an electrician and all this, I've ran guilds for almost 30 years now. Um, Top number one performing guilds and World of Warcraft,
Awesome,
Halo,
awesome.
and a bunch of other really top tier games. And I've always just really focused on that kind of guild leadership. And so Polemos came about because of Illuvium. We were diehard about Illuvium, and we were going to preempt um, the community by starting a guild. Well, it just kind of snowballed out of there and turned into this, large GameFi platform that has a significant tech stack behind it. We are rolling out our university fairly soon that will offer, very detailed and professional courses for the partner games that we're involved with. We have asset staking pools. We have many different levels of play, and so we really cater to the scholar, the beginning gamer, the intermediate gamer, and all the way up to the top tier esports players. And just the couple games that we're partnered with right now, you can see us peppered throughout the leaderboards on that. We practice what we preach. So we are really about metaverse adoption. We really want to grow this space to strengthen the games that we're involved in by helping assist the growth of the space. We're about community engagement, and you can see, like, just if you go into our Discord, we've got game nights, we've got different things. We really like to keep our people informed and really try just to be there and accessible. We have a very accessible team, and really like to help out and have everybody on the same page with us. And then going into esports dominance is our kind of end goal focus, where we take all of our learnings, all of our data analytics, and plug it in to our best gamers, and really just take all the prizes. That's what we're here for. So we have a process of really catering and honing to the beginning player, and then just taking them all the way up to the top. Um, so we are a full, fully loaded enterprise, and we can operate with people in just about any way, shape, or form in the GameFi space.
Incredible. I already have marked several questions, but all irrelevant to Apeiron and Polemos, such as the World of Warcraft guild accomplishments. I'm super big on World of Warcraft, esports tournaments, and several things you mentioned. But I guess that's for another time. But really, I want to. The first thing that comes to my mind is so how do you select your members, your scholars, or your war party, so to speak? Do they go through a trial of games or combats that have to defeat certain members from your guild before they get selected? What's it like actually over there?
So we encourage everybody to come on in, and we wholeheartedly believe that people will put in the effort. I mean, you get out of life what you put into it. So the scholars, the people that are trying to get these opportunities, really only need to put themselves out there, and these things will become available. We have a very um, fair approach to these things. So, like with Fancy Birds, we could have given 24 birds out to one person, and that would be a good day, an
Oh,
8 hour shift for somebody, but why do that when you don't even know if they're going to consistently use those assets? So we employ, I think we have more analysts, um, more number crunchers than any other department, and we really use all the APIs and KPIs that we can to determine fit. But we're going to give everybody a chance if you're willing to stand up and take it. We don't have anything against any particular group or anything. We want to help everybody out. We're an extremely international entity, and we really want everybody to come join us and find a home, within our project. So there's no exclusive criteria. You just have to come in and want it. You just have to put yourself out there to get it.
Ooh, sounds fair enough. Mm. I can't wait to meet more members of the Polemos Guild over in games, actually. I'd love to see the Conan streaming and see how they fare. I miss my days gaming and just playing with other
I
players
will say,
competitively.
I will say on that note though, um, what is most important to Plemos is not necessarily the scholars or the gamers, but it's the games that we get into,
Mm,
because there is so much garbage and drivel out there
wow.
that it's really an intense process to.
Plus, I have to say, you really got your manners up during AMAs. Would have a sword off just now. If
I
it were in a public setting.
Anybody that knows
Yeah.
me knows
Yeah.
that I am not afraid to call people out or be
Oh.
honest about things. I can certainly be tactful while being honest, but the reality is that a lot of these play to earn games are going to crash and burn before they even get out the gates. You see a lot of gaming guilds that have this like shotgun style approach to investing
Mm,
into assets, and it's really not good for the economy, the approach that they're taking, and they're really crippling themselves. So I'm not gonna jump in and try to save them. That's their own choice, but it is extremely important that the guild that you're with really evaluates the games that they're getting into, because if a game isn't going to last, is not going to be around and stand the test of time, then you're in a losing battle, um, with no way out, unfortunately. So diligence on games, understanding the passion and the community behind a game that's going to keep the game going, understanding if the development team is appropriate for the style of game. I mean, there's just so much that goes into making sure that the games that you are giving your scholars access to are ones that are actually going to benefit them in life, because it's really um, imagine the economic impact of a large group of people that are in a game that all of a sudden dies, and you have all these people that are well invested time, and they don't have another way to start up that process again. Like they have to find another game and take time to build up assets. Well, in that downtime, that economic downturn is very deleterious
mm, I love that.
to what their future is. So it's being responsible, by making
Mm,
sure that the games you're getting into are exactly the ones that will lead the GameFi space. And that's why we're here.
well, awesome, John. Just want to supplement that with my little experience with Polemos. I'm still meeting gaming guilds every day, and like I always say, I always judge the not just the leadership of the guild and their roadmaps and how they form and how they take care of their community. It's really the community members that shine through and represent the gaming guilds themselves. And how I met Polemos was actually through their members, through Asteristy and through Atrix, two of my most valued members in the community that has been contributing to the community since several months ago, when we just came out, when we haven't even started our marketing campaigns or the pre-seed rounds or the everything, and they were already on the lookout for new games, interesting games, getting their hands on into it. doing their own due diligence and for the gaming guild. This is on a very different caliber compared to many other gaming guilds. There's several other gaming guilds that did this, but honestly, Polemos came here at Asteristy and I almost dodged Asterix. But well, these members are very different. And the moment I go into their servers and I talk to them and I eventually get to meet the leadership and management, everything just is highly, how do I put it? It's the same throughout. It's when I was in private equity and when I was in management consulting, you see the disparity between the management and the members, the top and the bottom lines. It's hard for a company to align the larger they are. But the ones that show the same attitude and fire and spirit from the top to bottom are the companies that can last, are the ones that I truly want to invest in sometimes as well. So Polemos gave me that big check mark, and it's something really different. And that's why amongst all the gaming guilds on my seat table, most of them maybe are of a more well-known background, but Polemos is the one that I'm proud to put them in my seat round. But on that note, John, I'm so sorry. The seat round announcement, I need to edit that and do a proper intro back to Polemos, because Polemos is only one of the three I'd say mid-sized gaming guilds, but you guys are going big soon. And that I have in my seed cap, and every other investor in the seed cap asked me who these guys are, and I was very proud to introduce your gaming guilds to them. And after my introduction, every one of them were perfectly fine with Polemos being in seed cap actually. And yeah, and just want to say, if any of you gamers out there are looking for gaming guilds and people to play with that are highly competitive, then Polemos is definitely one of your top choices. And but one of my main concerns of all is just the use of the word scholarships. I think it got off in the wrong footing uh, for a lot of gamers out there, and the way a lot of these gaming guilds and their scholarship models started out, and how they were advertised around the world. Sometimes can be viewed in
Could I cut
well
you
different
off right there?
Oh yeah.
We have novices and apprentices.
Mm,
We use the term scholar because that is what has become popularized.
yeah.
But I don't like it when people call me manager. I'm not your manager. I'm a gamer just like you.
Mm.
And I think that
I'd call you War
you
Master.
know, yeah, well, you can call me that, but no, I think that the labeling needs to kind of shift, and I think that people's mentalities on this need to shift as well. And we provide services for entry level gamers, people with no experience whatsoever. We have no hard fast rules about, well, you have to have 3 years of gaming experience to become a scholar. No, uh, we give or lend assets to people who have zero experience, because we all have to start somewhere. And
Mm,
I think that when your scholars are, and I'm not going to talk about any other large guilds in here, but I am talking about the large guilds. When your scholars can't even ask you a question and get a response, and I've been in these, guilds, and I've seen the conversations back and forth. I feel it's really derogatory to me, because these people are the ones that are perpetuating your business, and you're not even responding to them in chat, and I find that really disrespectful and kind of concerning. I think that people need to realize that whether they're a customer or a provider, we're all really in this space together. And the way to make play and earn, or win to earn, however you like to think about it, is by
mhm,
bringing on more people and making more people feel comfortable and suited in here. I mean, there's what, 3 billion gamers or something, or 2.6 billion gamers, and there's less than 100,000 NFT, blockchain gaming accounts. There's just this massive amount of people that we can bring over, but they're not going to do that when everything is a scholar manager world. They don't see
Mm,
the esports side of things. They don't see that traditional aspect that is inherent in blockchain gaming. I mean, blockchain is just a different technology. It's just a different means of conveying data. These games are still games. They're all the same. It's
mm,
just a matter of what can we use this blockchain technology for? What's on chain and what's off chain? That's really, for the devs to sort out and balance. But at the end of the day, these are all just games, all the same. So when we create different stigmas about them and make people think that the scholar model is what's going to prevail, then people are absurdly wrong and need to kind of rethink the space because we're going off in a tangent and we really need to just get back to, hey, we're going to make and play fun games. And again,
mm.
that's why we're here.
Awesome.
So
Well, let's do it together. I'll be on the dev side, and you'll be on the guild side, on the user side, and let's make some changes and to the
I'm just
space.
gonna say I got a Gigas theory, and
Holy
I feel like
crap!
I'm just gonna own. Yeah,
How,
I know.
how
Like I
did
got
how did
super
you get it
lucky
from
from a
divine or from
divide.
a?
I mean, I
Oh
paid
my
for it,
god!
but at the same time, I
Oh
feel like I'm gonna own
oh boy!
with that.
Oh, oh my god! You lucky asshole. Um,
Super
well, I
lucky.
bet a
Appreciate
lot,
that.
a lot of people will be well very jealous over here. But like I said, don't worry. The fine cores are still, even if you got the dual core, the dual ones are still highly competitive. And before Polemos or before Hot Sauce truly owns the gets the top end of like all the strategy guides, and I can still defeat him with a duel, I believe, until
Maybe.
he got it down. We'll see.
I doubt
Uh, oh, well, I'll just bring my primal out then. But still, it's still a pure element. It's just the pure elements are equal game. We'll see. It comes down to the mixtures. We'll just study each other. We'll have fun. And
Yeah.
anyway, let's move on to some of the community questions before we babble on the entire hour without answering anything.
Right.
Let's do something different. Let's check how active this community is and do the live question first. It will be super quick. I'll just open up the live chat for 30 seconds. Pop your question in, and then we'll pick from there. And then once we answer 3 from there, we'll clear the list. However, Asterisk or Hot Sauce wants it. And then we'll clear as much as we can. And until John succumbs to his other schedules. Okay, let's live. Ask your questions. 30 seconds and counting. I always loved this part back in the days when I'll cut it off after my babbling here. When I first practiced for my AMAs, oh my god, did I dox you? When I first practiced my AMA, I went for some really, really random AMA channels on the telegrams that's filled with bots and everything. And I just and the live session opens up and the whole channel gets flooded with bot messages and questions over and over for like a minute or 2 minutes, and I was absolutely amazed the first time. And then I realized, oh my god, what am I doing here in these Telegram bot enemies? None of them are real
Right.
people, and they're all just asking. But it's okay. It was good practice, like good practice on answering questions and everything. But my God, there were only I think 1 in 20 of these text-based AMA channels that actually have good questions or organic
Yeah.
questions. And but yeah, I guess this is the same in the Web3 space. There's just a whole bunch of people trying to take advantage of it, and then there are always a few out there where they concentrate on the quality users, and I cut it off. Sorry guys if you had to
Yeah.
type too slow, but
You can't be sustainable in an extraction-based economy. You have to have
no.
people giving back. You have to have esports. You have to have
Mm,
competitiveness. You have to have different things that that really compel people to put back into the economic cycle, or else all you're doing is extracting, and that goes nowhere. If you want to cut off the questions, I'm
I
just
cut off
going to start
already.
answering.
Cut it off already. But yeah, you can answer the from the bottom up, I guess. And then if you find one that you really like, let me know, and then I'll mark it down as well. Let's see which the good ones. I'll mark it down. If there's more than 6, I'll just give more rewards. It's
What do
okay.
we have?
Yeah.
6.
The
So
good ones. I
Oof
mean,
is
the good ones. The good
asking,
ones.
right, what makes your guild different than the other big gaming guilds?
Mm.
And this is a really interesting question because not all big gaming guilds are the same. There are some that I happen to really value and respect, such as GuildFi.
Mm.
There are others that have, again, that shotgun approach to investing. They're putting money into all of these different games that won't return a yield. Now, why does that matter to me? Because they're leading their scholars into these games that will also not be profitable and not help their community out. And so I think one thing that makes us different than the other gaming guilds is our diligence in researching projects and making sure that we are absolutely in the best projects that will offer our novices and apprentices all the time they need to be very profitable in the game. And then another massive differentiator is our tech stack. So again, we have the university, we have an esports hub, we have asset staking pools, we have just a massive analytics structure that really takes all of the human element out of managing, which is really key. It helps us identify bad actors quicker. It helps us identify more profitable methods and games, and these are directly passed down to our members. So we're not just this large entity that's interested in accumulating scholars and this and that. We don't see that as being very profitable in the end. And at the end of the day, we are a business, so we do have to make a profit. Um, but it's the full circle approach that we have that I don't think you will find really anywhere else. We're just doing so many different things, which we're a little late to the game compared to others, so we're still developing some of these things. But you can jump on in and somebody will respond to you, and it's just a family. We are a family. We're a big family. So a lot of differences between us and the others. Um, Meta,
Okay.
I
Let's
was,
just
I was gonna say,
continue down the question.
yeah,
Meta V, I think.
Meta
I like this
V.
question.
What makes you want to start a guild?
From
So
the very beginning.
again,
From the very beginning,
yeah,
not just
going
Polemos.
back, yeah, going back to my, startup and I really, you know, I really delved into gaming pretty hard. I um neurodivergent spectrum, whatever you want to say. So
Can I jump in and
it,
ask you, John, Hot
Mhm.
Sauce, very first gaming guild, which was it? Experience in your first gaming
Okay,
guild.
Diablo 2, I would want to say,
Oh,
back
awesome. And were you
in
the management or were you just part of a guild?
management. I can't
Oh,
I can't
nice.
not I can't not be um managing. And
Okay.
that was a really interesting thing because that wasn't like, this was kind of like in the dark underbelly of internet days where, people were handing out uh, cracked Diablo, DVDs so that everybody could play and whatnot. That's what they
Mm-hmm.
called it back in the day when they cracked the code to get
Mm-hmm.
the free access and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
there weren't any parameters on guilds. These were all wholly established by using documents and Yahoo chat, um, and eventually you know converting over to TeamSpeak and Ventrilo. If any of you guys are old enough to remember those things, maybe they're still around. I don't even know.
Fence. Oh
But
my god, I've spent so much time on Fence. But yeah, let's get back to the questions. So why do you
yes,
want to start a
so
guild? Why do you want to manage guilds, so to speak?
the competitive advantage that you have of being with a group of like-minded individuals that really want to progress, you will progress so much faster. You'll have access to more end game materials. Let's say World of Warcraft, you won't spend so much time looking for a healer or a tank or something. Like there's just so many reasons to have this massive support group because it helps you grow faster. And there are games that are more kind of like one-on-one where you might be competing against your guildmate for a top spot in a tournament or this or that. Let me Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I could get number one in the ship battles, the daily, tournament, but
Mm.
it was always kind of a crapshoot on who would get it. It was me and two other people. So I spent some time, a couple weeks, finding these other people, and we eventually allied so that every day we traded who got first, and we were 1, 2, 3 every day because before maybe one of these guys would snipe me back to seventh place, and so instead of getting third, I'm getting seventh. So yes, I am only getting first every third day, but I'm guaranteed to get first through third every day. And I know who's getting first, and we can strategize to align to kick certain people out of the top 10, and
That is that
yeah,
is the
these
essence of
advantages.
gaming meta, of the meta game outside games that's also as fun as the game itself. And
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
I love it.
guilds are support groups, and guilds will help you grow more than you could ever possibly accomplish on your own. I don't care what assets you have or what wallet you have or this or that. You
Mm.
will never be a single entity as competitive as a guild member would be.
Great. Well, awesome. Let's keep going.
Let's see. So how does Plumos balance between guild growth and just enjoying the game? And I think again that you'll see that Plumos is completely built by gamers. And so our first and foremost desire is to enjoy games. And so we really focus on that side of things. We have VCs and other people that focus on the financial side, but as far as inside the community, we are gamers. And so we are not concerned about growth outside of organic growth. We're not paying Twitter shillers. We're not buying bots. We're not doing any of this stuff. False numbers don't do anything for anybody. It doesn't make us any better or look any more appealing to anybody. So growth is really kind of the least of our concerns because we believe that if we create the correct atmosphere and we invest in the correct games, that the growth will naturally come along with it.
Oh, I definitely learned that the hard way. Got some bots in, and I can't even get them back out now. Just trying to take a look at all the marketing. Because initially, when we started out, we were looking at the numbers. We were from the mobile game business model, so it's more on a user acquisition model in the marketing space, where you just buy the numbers and everything, and you convert like 1 to 2% of those numbers into paying users or actual users. It's been standard practice. So, and we looked at the numbers of all the other blockchain games, how shady or seedy this might be. They're like 100,000 members, 200,000 members. Oh my god! Okay, well, let's try to do the same. And then we just went on to a few airdrop campaigns, airbot drop campaigns, and oh my god, the numbers just flooded. I was like, okay, well, that was easy. Just 30,000 users coming in a day, but oh my god, the quality is just absolutely trash. and
Yeah, that's true.
and I think by the time we use it, I think the people in the Web3, they're not stupid. I mean, and they look at the numbers, and when you just look into the communities, you can find out immediately. And we stopped immediately after I think 1 or 2 of those campaigns, and try to grow the more organic way. But still, a lot of the bots I don't know if they're bots really, because we try to do these bot campaigns. They stay. It's like
Mhm.
an alt farm that's somewhere out there with a huge bunch of alt farmers doing these bot drop campaigns, and they can survive all sorts of verifications or bot controls. But
Yeah,
oh well, it's part of the
when I go
community.
into a Discord and I see that there's 17,000 members and there's only 800 online, and I'm just pulling those numbers out because that was literally the last game that I checked out.
Mm,
Um, that is like an absurd amount of bots. And when you only have 800 people online and you think only 10% of those
mm,
people are going to engage in your NFT sale, now you're looking at 80 people buying assets, and maybe they buy three. So you're looking at maybe selling 240 assets if you're lucky out of the 10,000 or 20,000 that they're going to produce. So having these inflated numbers really does absolutely nothing for your project, and to me, it's just a massive red flag when I go in and I see this disparity of number of people versus how many people are online, or how regularly people chat in
mm,
Discord and whatnot. You can tell how many people are there just by watching chat. Um,
mhm. Well, at least we got a good 100 people listening here.
that's
uh,
right. I have a
well,
good question by Bite Fodder. What suggestions, advice do you
oh,
have for the success of Apeiron, taking into account that a lot of play-to-earn games are going through a bad moment? Now, I don't know if they're
mm,
going through a bad moment. I think that the oversaturation of play-to-earn games and the reality of the extraction-based economy not being viable isn't a bad moment. It's just the truth and the reality is being exposed, where everybody got super excited. Oh, I can make X amount of money playing video games. And I'm not going to lie, I'm in this space because of that reason, because I was
mm,
profitable in previous ventures. So I know what is possible in this space. But all of these, I mean, I can't tell you how many Pegaxi clones that I've seen recently, and it's just like, how do you guys think there's no differentiators, there's nothing fun about the game, and it just baffles me that so many people are devoting so many resources to this, because yes, money is easy to get in this space. The investors always say money is the easiest part. Um, and so yes, they may, go through these nice raises and this and that, but when the company crashes and burns because they had really no value or no substance to it, who's left holding the bag? Everybody. So I think that when Polemos goes and looks into a game, we're not looking for the standard model that's been out, because we know that that is not viable. So the reason that Polemos got involved in Apeiron was the Guild v Guild, the esports, the different methods of gameplay that are interesting and compelling. There's so many qualities to Apeiron that we have to have in games before we're willing to invest. And we invest in different genres and this and that. But when I sit down and look at a game, I have to think, would I still play this in a year if I had unlimited options of fun games to play? Would I want to compete in a tournament in this style of game? Would are people going to be attracted to the gameplay? The tokenomics and all of this stuff is largely irrelevant. Um, and I understand what I'm saying when I say that, because tokenomics is a crucial factor in your economy going. But the in-game economy is far more important than the blockchain token, than the crypto token. How the in-game economy is balanced matters, because an imbalanced in-game economy will destroy everything else so quick, and it's not fun. I look for challenging games. I think that challenging games really keep people coming back for more. Some people, don't care for the challenge and they just want repetitive, Candy Crush type games. But the games that really do well from an esports point of view are the ones that are not easy, the ones that require a lot of strategy, require a lot of time investment, require careful planning through months of, let's say, breeding your planet and going through the correct resets to get exactly what you are building for. Some people get assets and they think, oh, well, that's strong, but together they're not strong. And so, um, there's a lot of diligence that goes into gameplay, and I don't think most games that have these really easy metas, they don't last, and so balancing different mechanics. I mean, Apeiron has so many interesting mechanics to it that people can really, focus on a specific niche within Apeiron. They can play it just for this reason and be completely fulfilled, while, player Z over here plays for a different reason and only focuses on that and is equally fulfilled. You can't have one-dimensional games. You have to have multiple dynamics. You have to have innovative ideas. There's, I think there are over 1,000 Steam games published a day, 1,000 per day.
Mm,
Okay,
mm.
how do you how do you wade through that? How do you figure out, is there any one good game that was published in the 1,000 games that came out? Probably not.
I've
Unfortunately,
I've
I mean,
I've
this
heard
is
uh I've heard a number from a fellow developer and trying to get on Steam and the Steam platform told them, okay, you do a let's see how many what do you call it the pre-orders or the likes you get first, and they say you need at least 25,000 likes or favorites or wish lists before they will grant uh, a listing or some sort on Steam. It was insane. But,
yeah, it's that whole, I know that there's a lot of developers that are trying to emerge. A lot of people have these, passion projects and this and that. But we are so oversaturated in this market. And so getting back to suggestions or advice for the success of Aperon, I don't have any. I think that all of the ingredients were in the recipe, and
oh,
that's why we're here. Like all of the different dynamics, all of the people that don't want to engage in PvP, the people that really just want to play that that god game and handle the
mm,
dudes, you can do that and be completely satisfied. you know
well,
and the people that just want to PvP, I believe they will be satisfied. So I don't have any suggestions or advice, because I know that the foundation is continuously looking at the trends going on in the GameFi space, and is continuously noticing failures and successes in different games. So I know this. I've had quite a few conversations with Frank, and the diligence, the passion is there to keep their community engaged. The community engagement is there with the constant events and all of this. This is what helps communities thrive, which is what helps games thrive. You have to have all of these different ingredients to make it happen, especially in a space that is so competitive for that user acquisition, for that the player growth. Um,
mm, thank you, thank you.
super bullish,
Oh,
super
thank
bullish
you.
on
That's
Aperon.
us. Oh,
I'm
well,
actually going to
well.
play Aperon. I will personally play Aperon. Okay, now that's like,
Oh,
I don't even play half the partner games that we have. I shouldn't say that. I take that back. I take it back.
say
But I
that.
will play Aperon.
Yes. No, well, thank you. But honestly, I think the secret recipe for Apron is really a lot of it is in the gaming guilds itself. It's the community. It's the type of players you play against, and you're not just going to play against a whole bunch of play-to-earn scholars in Apeiron. You'll be playing against gaming guilds. Well, not a lot like Polemos. Polemos is probably the one you'll run into and really hate in the top end. But there are
yes and
many
no.
other types. There are many other types of gaming guilds with different well, not mandates, but different goals in Apeiron. And some can be casual. Apeiron has a very casual and fun side where you can just enjoy the lore or enjoy the dudes. There's some that are highly competitive, and there are just some very technical ones that are on node farming, cross metaverse projects, and they will be all here. And they are all fun individuals. This is the first and foremost criteria I have when I talk to the gaming guild. If there are a bunch of VC investors looking to maximize their profits by shuckening projects or leveraging their communities, you won't see any of those gaming guilds, at least officially, and that's on any official capacity with Apeiron. Every gaming guild I recruit, I due diligence as much as they due diligence me. So I want to ensure that you guys have every game out there have fun people to engage in. I'm not sure about the grieving and the trash talk that will follow, but it will be fun. It's part of
my trash talk nice.
Okay, well, that's
I can
what we'll have to say.
trash talk you without being rude or
That's
insolent about it.
that's an art. You can start a
Right?
university program just with that. But
Well, that's why I'm the leader, because I have to take it. I have to be able
only
to
the
take it
best
too.
player can do that. Only the best player can do that. Because only the best player at the very top can shut everybody up. Anyway, well, let's continue with the questions, and maybe we'll go through a few of the ones on the top, and then and see. Let's get 3 on the top first, and then we proceed with however many you want to do, as we as time allows. John. Oh my God, keep trying to
Absolutely.
talk. So.
Can I answer one question really quick that I'm looking at?
Awesome.
RSU is asking any advice for people who are new to play to earn, and my advice is find a support group, find a guild. Doesn't have to be Polemos. Find a guild that will educate you before you get in to the game. Like find somebody that will take you through all the steps so that you know, hey, is this what I really want to be doing or not? Find a support group. That's all I can say to that.
Awesome. Well, let's find some above the cutting off pre-AMA questions here aligned. A few of them there. Wow. Well, I'll pick one first. Most of them are there are multiple questions in one. Come on. Okay, let's pick a new one. I seldom see. How about the Chinese one? Since the one with the Chinese name.
Yeah.
Since I believe the Chinese name
I can't see
reads.
the Polemos question, so you'll have to ask it for me.
Okay, well, it's the name is called can't put out what it means. It says he can't see his name. That's just his nickname. But anyway, he's asking. Here we go. The first one is, can you tell us how much Polemos invested in Apeiron project? Well, is that information per feet?
We invested 200,000 into the seed rounds, and then I want to say we spent about 20 ETH on planets or so.
Oh, wow, nice. Let me say, of the entire seed round, I think only four investors were in with 200 and below. The usual entry barrier is 500k, but I want to stress that it's not about the amount of money. It's about in the seed capital. It's about who I really want them in. Sometimes the ones you don't have to necessarily be a giant guild or a giant fund to participate in the core seed rounds and pre-seed. In my eyes, the seed round and pre-seed partners are always ones that could provide the most value, no matter the size they are, and they are gaming guilds, and they are investors in Apeiron in the seed and pre-seed together with the giant so-called tier one VCs, and I like having them here because it is only through these these more ambitious and unique funds and gaming guilds that we partner with early that we can truly grow together. Oh, sorry, back to you. The second question is, as an important investor, will Polemos interfere with Apeiron's operations or more important strategic policies? Oh, wow, this guy's from Financial World.
Yeah, so I think that people are going to find that Polemos is the most diamond-handed um, guild out there. We don't get into any project for a quick flip speculation. So we buy tokens to stake them. We don't buy tokens to flip them. We buy assets to use them. We don't buy assets to, lend them out for the sole purpose of getting that rental fee. We really on the counter side of that, my job is to work with developers, work with studios. So no, we won't be hampering or inhibiting Apron whatsoever, but I will be going to him and saying, "Hey, I don't think this element is working out the way that you guys thought it would," or aspect maybe is a better term because element has some implications in this game. Um, so no, our job is to strengthen the economy, not to detract from it, and that is by having a close relationship with the team and making sure that both sides, the development side and the gaming side, are taken care of properly. Um, we're not in it for the money. The VCs that started this have all the money they could ever want, and this was built out of passion. Polemos was truly built out of passion, and so we're not going to get involved in a game that doesn't have a passionate developer, because we have to be able to work with them, and we have to be able to strengthen the economy of the game that we're in. And this is for us, Polemos as an entity, and this is for our members as well. Like, we want our members to thrive, because we can't thrive without them thriving.
Indeed. Of all the AMAs I've attended and listened to, uh, I think only I myself and John. Oh my God, I kept talking you. And Hot Sauce are the ones who would really be willing to babble on and stay behind the designated time just to try to answer every single one of the questions. And and this speaks to, well, I'm not trying to advertise myself, but there are people who can go on and on. I was an introvert back then, and I'm not doing this because I want to promote my project. It's just there's so much I want to share and get through with the crowds. Apeiron is, well, yeah, Apeiron is a complex game, but I want to make sure everyone understands it because I really actually believe in the space, in the technology, and in the crowds that gather here. So yeah, if it's passionate, I'm pretty sure not just Hot Sauce, but the entire Polemos, from the leadership to its members, you see the passion is way beyond gaming. It's in Web3. It's in the way they exude themselves. It's the real difference up there.
I,
And yeah, yeah, Sean.
I,
Oh,
I,
oh,
I
I'll
I
keep
had
saying
a
that.
I had a great point to make, but I completely lost it looking over all of this chat. Um, I just think that, like, I think people need to really get past this whole play to earn title and all of these things. Like, I think people really just need to get back to, like, is this a good game? Is this a fun game? Like, we put so many implications on all these different things. I love to talk. I'm more than happy to sit around and answer questions. My job is to be like a front facing entity. I talk to the devs. I talk to our novices. I talk to our everybody. I want people to be informed, because information is what helps you succeed. Um, Again, the passion is what makes games. Like knowing what's behind this.
Mm.
Um, Polemos, we literally devote a large amount of resources to our partners. This is not this is not a money game for us. This isn't just like, oh, we invested this much so that we can lend out these many assets. We invest into the university courses. We invest into integrating into our esports hub, our analysts. We spend a lot in resources to give our community the best, to give them the best advantage with the numbers, with the analysis, with the courses that. So to become a scholar, once we have the university rolled out, you will have to complete courses in that university to be able to apply for a scholarship, because then we know that you know what you're doing, that you can take those assets and maximize them and not be sitting there trying to figure out, well, what do I do with this? How do I use this? What point is it for us to give you assets that you don't know how to use? So all of these things matter. We devote so much to the games that we get involved in. Definitely not just a money play for us. Like this is a passion project, and we're
Mm.
going to find those other passionate projects to align ourselves with.
Awesome, awesome. Asterisk, do you have any questions marked down from before that you want to ask before we dwell into all the other questions?
I think
Yeah,
it's
sure.
already answered.
That's already answered. Okay, well let's clear some of the questions from the very top. Move our way down. Some of the questions. Feel free to pick anyone you see, John. Oh my god, I can't reading
I
that
don't
like
see the
that.
Polemos questions anymore. What did I do to get removed from that?
What? Let me see, let me see. Um questions to see. Oh my bad, my bad. Please take a look at now. Hmm. It's closed. Can you see now?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Or
So I was like scrolling through other chats and stuff, not even paying attention.
oh, it's all right. It's not that. It's not turned on the private. That's
Eric is asking, can you share with us what is the most excited project that Polemos have collaborated so far? Um, and I'm gonna have to say Apeiron, because we haven't released all of our partners. And again, I'm personally bullish on Apeiron. Asterisk brought the game to my attention, and I immediately fell in love with it. And
oh,
so of all the games that we have partnered with, Apeiron is the one that I pushed the hardest for, which wasn't really difficult because everybody else liked it too. But yeah, again, it really has all the elements. It has to cater to all the different types of gamers, the niches. I'll say that Polemos did not um, do as well on the planet reveal as some of our members did,
oh,
individually, but we're here to make the most out of what we have. We still have a pretty nice selection of planets, and
every planet has its use. Don't be disheartened.
absolutely.
Every element combination has its unique relics to be created and enjoyed, and they all have their part to play. And you got the Gigas Fury. So, let's see how far you can
That's
take the
another
game
really
with that.
interesting aspect of guild play, is the fact
Mm-hmm.
that it is going to require some very specific combinations. Like certain metas are going to be found out, and it's going to be very difficult for one person to have all of the things to create those metas. Whereas with a guild, with a store of assets, you're much more likely to accomplish this. But the way I foresee Apeiron is that there are many, many cogs that have to turn in order to really unlock that top tier. And so I think that when you get into cooperative play and different people having different jobs that all come together, it's like a company itself. You have to have different people. You have to have the mailroom clerk, and you have to have, accounts receivable and all of this. Like you have to have all of these different people in place for your company to thrive. You can't have you know emptiness, job openings, and not have to fill them somehow. So when you have this really diverse and complex game, you have to have a lot of different people. You have to have casual gamers that fulfill a part in the planet reset process. Maybe that's all they're focused on. That's great. Like we need all of these different people to create the group that is going to lead to a winning esports team. When those, I'm looking forward to the guild versus guild. That's my bread and butter. I want to take all of my best people and I want to fight against your best people, and we're gonna win, but that's okay. We're still gonna have fun getting there. Um, but that's what I play games for. I like the group tournaments, and I swear, as soon as I saw all the different dynamics, elements to Apeiron, I was like, this game is going to get because it has all these things that keep people interested.
Well, thanks, John. I'll
But we'll
be
get back
sure
to
to make
questions.
the GVE even more competitive. Yes.
Right.
Because the
Um,
GVG sometimes it may need time to build good competitors and good competition, I guess. But the GVE accomplishments, defeating that world boss would be very, very. As a gaming guild, as a group of players, I didn't make it easy. I definitely gave the first commandment, not the first commandment, but the first commandment: do not make the world boss easy. Uh, and it would be fun to watch people try to grind their way all the way up and work as a team and get it accomplished. But anyway, I won't dwell into details over there.
if you
Let's
give
get
things
back
away
to the
too
questions.
easily, then people don't appreciate
Uh,
what they have, and so you
no,
can't
they
make it too
don't.
easy.
Well, not never be too easy. Nothing is easy. Well, not in that pro, not in the alliance content, not in the late dungeons. Have fun, guys. Well, let's get back to the questions. Wow, this toilet salty dude. I think you answered most of them.
I think I have as well.
What's our friends?
Avis
Oh,
Apeiron VN Guild has asked, please choose to rearrange your guild's priorities when choosing to invest in any game. And they have gameplay, tokenomics, expected profit, and community.
oh, come on.
Yeah, and this is like I wouldn't put those specific points as necessarily the categories that we look at. The tokenomics does have to make sense, and honestly, if you've looked at as many white papers and tokenomics schedules as I have, it only takes like 2 seconds to be like, well, yeah, that's possible, or yeah, no, that's not ever going to work. Um, and you can almost copy paste from so many of these different games. You have the 3 token system, which definitely adds a new element and will take some of the pressure off of other tokens, which is great. But the tokenomics is pretty straightforward in my opinion. The in-game economy is far more important. What are the syncs correct? Are the purchases correct? Is the balancing correct? So first and foremost, you have to have the right gameplay. That is number one. If the game isn't going to be interesting, if the graphics are subpar, if there's not enough elements, if there's no tournaments, like there just has to be a bunch of different elements that go into that gameplay aspect, which is super important. Community, number 4, is super important. The team I would put the team on there as being, either number one or two, um, because you can have this like really big team that can't accomplish anything. Look at Citus Heroes, like massive team, and you can pin this, but that game will be garbage when they put it out. And I know that probably is counterintuitive to a lot of you guys, but just watch. So the team has to make sense. You can look at who who the angel investors are, who the pre-seed investors are. Are they people that are actually going to add value to the project, or is it one CEO's previous, company launches that are all angel investors? So basically, the CEO is just raking it in. Like if you think a team is doxxed because they list two people, and those two people, have a LinkedIn that has no populated information, then basically they're not doxxed, and they don't have any information out there, and they don't want you to know who they are. It cracks me up when I see people talking about doxed teams, and I'm like, did you click on anything? Did you Google search them? Did you do any sort of investigative research to find out about these people? Because half the time they just like put a name out there. I've seen some projects copy paste other projects team sheets and literally just replace the names. I mean, this is a
Is
treacherous.
that possible?
Yes, yes, I have seen that. I've seen them get called out for it too, which is
Oh
hilarious.
my.
But like, do your research. The All of these things that we choose about investing into a game is like, number one, are they honest? Is everything laid out there and understandable and agreeable, or do they really just look like they are trying to ride the wave and doing some copy paste? It's so easy to copy paste assets, to copy paste mechanics and this and that. A lot of these developers don't really put much time into their game. So it's, the team, the passion behind the team, is really one or two for me. The gameplay will come after that. The community has to support the game and the team as well. And then last of all, the expected profit. If you have these other three elements, a proper team, proper gameplay, and a great community, the expected profit will be great. That's, that just falls in line with the others. You don't need tokenomics. People have a slanted vision of tokenomics anyway. I mean, when you're catering to an inflationary market, you better assume that the token is going to go down. It's just natural. You can't onboard a bunch of people and think that, the sustainability is going to continue. If you have a game that you can easily adopt, that people just really fall in love with, then yeah, you should see the token price go up or stay the same. But that shouldn't be a basis of determining the viability or profitability of a game. Maybe what actually happened was that it shut off and kind of plateaued way above the correct valuation, and we see it recorrecting back to where it actually should be. And some people might say, oh well, it corrected, it's going down. It's not actually going down, it's just getting to where it's appropriate. People, not everybody, but I just think that people like put too much emphasis on certain things that have a lot more to the picture than you can just say off of like seeing that the token price went down or something like that. Like maybe it should have gone down, but again, these are things that people don't necessarily always consider when they look at something. It is a complete package that we look at when we choose to invest, but it really comes down to the people behind it and the people in it. Sorry, that was long-winded, but
Oh, it's awesome. I like how the answer is structured there. It's sort of, well, you didn't restructure it, but that's okay. Uh, let's continue on.
So YF asked, how did you come up to the decision of partnering up with Apeiron? For me personally, it was Guild v Guild tournaments and world bosses, and seeing all of the different ways that people could play, and knowing the fact that if this game can appeal to multiple niches, through multiple genres, you're going to capture a large amount of people. And even if they're just trying it out and saying, well, this game isn't for me, just by having that constant influx of people will help perpetuate the economy and all that. So um, the decision to partner up with Apeiron came from so many diverse dynamics of earning potentials and compelling, um, involvement from people. Like it's the people that carry a project. The developers can make an amazing game if nobody knows about it, or if it's too expensive to get in, or X, Y, and Z, then you don't have anything. So it does require the team, it does require the community, um, and you have all that.
Excellent. Let's go on down. Oh, there's a. What do you think about Frank? Skip that question. Uh,
Frank and I have had some great conversations, and I would take time out of my day any day to make more time for Frank. That's what I think of Frank.
well, likewise, friend. And well, I want to delve into private secrets. I can go back to the chat for that. But I can't wait to meet you in person, Joe. And oh,
I'm working on getting my
Frank.
passport. I'll be honest with you. So that is
Well,
in the works.
get your family
I don't
over.
know if I don't know if Hong Kong is the first place we'll visit, but it's certainly on the list. There's like
Oh,
82 different landmarks in China that I'm trying to go see on my bucket list. So we'll get there.
oh,
Don't worry about that.
well, if you go, then let me know. I know a lot of good places up there as well.
To answer Toilet's other questions, what type of planet and breeding farm are you planning to do? I cannot even begin to answer that question at this time, because it's probably going to be a pretty complex system that involves a lot of analytics, and so it will be a team that comes up with our breeding schedule, so to speak.
I would love to sit in that university class as a listener and see how other people dissect the game after the abiogenesis event, where all the skills and the traits get exposed, and then people will really get into formulating these plans way ahead of gameplay, which is always interesting to see. But
Yeah, I like to believe that I can look at a game like this even months before the gameplay, and say that this is probably going to be the meta. Maybe that's just a complete overconfidence in myself, but I got here for a reason, folks. So yeah, I think that as soon as more and more elements are added, people are just going to fall even more in love with the game, with the concept that you guys have. So I don't know what breeding farm we're planning to do, but it will be one that the team believes to be the most successful from a PvP standpoint.
so well, let's move on. How much time do you have left, Hansas?
As much as you want.
All right, well
45
then
minutes.
let's clear as much as you want, and I'll go back and mark some of the questions. I think a few of them are very interesting. I think I'll give out more rewards than I listed, but another good question. I don't
Right.
want to turn it into like a selection process. So yeah, enjoy and answer, and I'll go back and mark down some of the winners and give them some marks for asking great questions or just being funny. We promote that. We promote silly questions or just silly answers or just silly statements here that make our AMA co-hosts or the guests laugh. So yeah, Continue on, Atos.
I,
I'll mark
I'm
something.
I'm just gonna make a statement. This is not based off of a question. When you think about traditional games and what makes them successful, when there's no earning element, it's because it's fun. It's because people want to play that game. And you look at a lot of these games that have in-app purchases or downloadable content, cheap little things that continuously string people along, but they love it. So it doesn't matter that they're spending $5 on a skin or $10 to upgrade their army a little bit. People happily spend this money because the entertainment value that they're getting out of it is far more valuable to them than that $10. So I think that what you are going to see is that eventually people just drop all of these new terms: play to earn, play and earn, win to earn. All of these things will eventually fizzle, and people will start seeing blockchain gaming the same way that they see traditional gaming. And for a game to be successful, it has to follow the traditional model. Now, when you have like World of Warcraft, where people were buying gold or gear on the black market, that that is almost the same as me going to OpenSea and buying something. It's just condoned by the owner. And because it's an NFT and the inherent quality of an NFT is ownership, then you are just supporting the economy in a way that you would have traditionally, because back in the day, WoW didn't sell gold. WoW didn't sell accounts or anything like that. People still found ways to buy them, and it was sketchy. Like people buying gold were subject to getting hacked and this and that. Well, we've ascended from that. We now have an open market where people can buy and sell goods just like they would in a game. And by these gaming studios understanding, hey, I can be so much more successful and honestly so much more profitable if I give ownership over to these people instead of making them find potentially sketchy ways to get around that. If you create something, somebody's going to make a bot, somebody's going to make some way to exploit that. It's just
Mm,
science.
mhm,
So by embracing the market, by embracing the people's value of the time that they put into the game, because for, let's say, World of Warcraft, for example, I was on that game 10 hours a day, whether I worked that day or not. And so the main attraction for me to start a gaming guild and play to earn, or in blockchain gaming, was the fact that, like, hey, I've put so much time and effort into this before and I treated it like a job. If this could be a job and I got paid for it, that would just be the most fulfilling thing for me. I love games. I love gaming, and so I'm passionate about this work that I do, and I'm passionate about helping people maximize their gameplay. Am I going to turn you into the number one PvPer? No, no, I'm not. You have to do that yourself. But I can give you tools to drastically improve your profitability, drastically improve the success of your gameplay, and along with that, improve your enjoyment and satisfaction out of the game. So we have to get away from this play to earn. Extraction-based economies don't work. They are not going to work. There is not one that is going to come out. People have to be able to put back into it. It's a constant cycle. And when we have games that are basically, you know, replicating the model of past successful games, um, where you would be buying things regularly, or putting little amounts, $5, $10 into this game, these these small fish support the game. It's yes, there are whales that support other whales or other, hardcore gamers. This is a very small fraction of, of what's actually going on. It's the microtransactions that perpetuate the game. So we have to get past this whole play to earn nonsense. Because really what it is we have fun games using blockchain technology. That's the only difference. There is really no other difference. I mean, you could go into other games. You could go into World of Warcraft and give somebody a cut of the gold that they farmed for you. Like there's no difference here. It's just these terms that we're identifying with and that have kind of like misled a large population of people into thinking like this is viable. It's not. Like we just have to make good fun games that people want to play, that people are willing to, spend a couple bucks on here and there. That's what's going to succeed. And so in this play and earn, play to earn, win earn, whatever you want to call it, in this space, I think we just have to get back to like, is this going to be a good fun game?
Mhm.
That's what's going to succeed. It doesn't matter about the tokenomics, so much, because who cares
Passion
if
you
your
have.
tokenomics are perfect if your game isn't fun? Who's going to play it?
Well,
Sorry.
I feel a lot of people will disagree with you there, but I do share a part of that sentiment because I believe good games with good core loops is what usually is coming, and even if I wouldn't say tokenomics, I would say the token price. Even if the token price were to fall and even crash, gamers who truly enjoy the games will still play. This is what makes a lot of physical gaming cards brands last. It's just having a fun game rules, core plays in a community that likes to enjoy the game. When the token price falls, they'll enjoy cheaper prices and products to breed and everything. But Apron is also modeled after cycles, new contents, new tournaments, balances even franchise elements with new stories, drives new interest, and there'll be seasons and cycles, and we'll last through as many cycles as we can, no matter what happens in the blockchain, as long as we maintain very focused and loyal to our community, and to keep them engaged and keep them happy with Apron and the brand. And it would take a lot of education as well to educate users not to overspend. And the promises that and the allure of a lot of this Web3, other Web3 games and
I
NFTs and the
just really
prices.
wonder,
Hmm?
in 6 months, when there are multiple AAA titles in blockchain gaming to choose from, what of these previous games, these previous like heavy scholar, your Axie Infinity or your Peg Axie, how many of these games are going to last when there are really good AAA games out that
Well,
they can access for the
uh,
same?
I think it would sort of retain down to the mobile game model. You see, the mobile game model, there are games that try to really innovate and become unique. But there's also a whole bunch of other games that just produces a game, gets the initial amount of money, reskins into another project, and publishes another economy out. It will loop and loop and loop. But given if they have enough incentives, or well, I wouldn't call incentives, but enough Skinner box tactics and slot machine tactics, so to speak, they will always attract different crowds back, no matter how blatantly obvious it's another reskin or another copycat of another game. And there'll be a whole bunch of these games, these play to earn games, these fresh new economies, fresh new games with maybe even awesome graphics and everything with the same game mechanisms, looping back and
Hmm.
back again. But they will survive. Some of them will, well, it's the companies and core teams that manage to turn this out at an exponential rate they will thrive. But how many of them can last? And there'll only be several that probably can manage this before before the public moves on. But if we look at the traditional gaming industry and the mobile gaming industry, the practice has always been here. So if we say the whole play to earn will crash and burn, well, maybe as people steer away from sort of these economies, but it's the real world. Ponzinomics, Ponzi tokenomics, or Ponzi schemes, and a lot of these schemes that get the get rich quick idea will never get old. There'll always be new ways to market these products, these ways to earn these new yields and profits, which end to end just feeds back to whoever can get in first, get out first. So
Exactly.
there'll be these models. Uh, it's a lot of different players and ecosystems jobs to educate the crowds on how to make intelligent choices but it will take some time. It will take some time. It's educating new people. It's the same allure of the entire Web3. There's good technology, there's good people building here, and they will naturally attract the crowds to their flock. But when you're sitting right next to a bunch of apes and frogs that's advertising on their Lamborghinis, it's it's easy to get distracted. And, well, as game developers, community leaders, so to speak, it's just our job to continue that education and find ways to either lay out the rules properly or to just support the communities and find the best ones. And I'm sure, well, game guilds such as Polemos will have natural talent and people flocking to them. That's why Asteristy and Matrix is there, and a lot of other individuals that I see in Polemos from the previous EMA session we had over there. The quality of the questions was a lot different. Sometimes in the other gaming guilds, when I did AMAs, a lot of the questions are the questions I saw back in the bots, the channels in the previous AMAs. That's just here for the 20 or 50 USDC. But it's really in the questions in the community that you can see the quality of the guild members and everything. But yeah, well, anyway, I babble. Let's continue on with some more questions. Let's see if we can answer some of them that's unique or you've never answered before. Yeah.
Yeah, I will take just a really quick second to say that Polemos has all of the same members as some of these other gaming guilds, but additionally, we have a large wealth of really, really motivated people that go out there and ask tough questions, know everything they can. Will grill a team about revenue distribution, or just different things that not everybody asks. And I am really blessed with the people that I associate with in Polemos. And we have some great people, and we're always looking to add more great people. We we like tough questions. We like people really trying to pick things apart. We like people trying to pick us apart because that's only going to make us see things from a different angle and address a different issue that we hadn't addressed before. Um, your community does make you, and we have a lot of phenomenal community members. So I am truly honored to be in association with these other people. There are many more talented gamers than I am. I'd hold myself pretty high, but there are some exceptional talented people in our camp, and just really like the way that they've shaped or helped shape
Mm.
Polymist and
I
carrying
got
out
a
this
good question
vision.
from a private DM. You want me to ask that now, or do you want?
Go
It's
ahead,
pretty
yeah.
interesting. This one. It says, "What's the main Web3 part of the Polemos equation?"
Um, so yeah, absolutely. Analytics, first of all, blockchain gives us an awesome ability to understand the numbers that go into games, and And granted, some of these things we need API access for, which is up to the studio or not to grant us that. But yeah, so there are many elements. With our token, there will be a staking element to that. Everything is on chain. You can see all of our transactions on chain. And I think that visibility and transparency will lead the way for
Ooh.
technology. I mean, that's why we
I
have it.
remember the token was is the Polemos token coming out anytime soon, or is that undisclosed yet?
It's either at the end of Q2 or at the beginning of Q3.
Okay, well,
We're
awesome.
trying to
I
time
mean,
it accordingly. We did go through a pre-seed, and we just closed our seed round. We do have a bit of money in the bank, but I'm honestly grateful and fortunate that we didn't get going earlier, because there are others. I won't name any names. I've done
it's
that
okay.
in previous AMAs, but there are others that really invested. I think they got blinded by
Hmm.
the hype of the space, and so
A lot of people
we
do.
yeah, we honestly got to a point where we decided to scrap everything on the table,
Mm.
and we did. And Apeiron and one other that we'll be announcing very soon were the two that remained after we scrapped everything. If that tells you how high of a conviction we have on Apeiron, because we foresee
Oh,
it being like a good game. Um,
next one.
but yeah, it's the the blockchain technology, the token, and our token. We have 100% revenue distribution. Um, we have to hold the tokens ourselves to get paid. Like we
Hmm.
can't just dump our tokens, or else we're cutting out our own revenue. So if you were to look through our tokenomics, you would see really where our focus is. We have a charity vault. I don't know
Wow.
how many other gaming
Oh,
guilds have
don't
a charity
divulge
vault.
too much information over here. Otherwise, no one will go to take a look at the white paper tokenomics
Right.
ourselves. Yeah. And I
We
would
have
yeah.
we have a partner vault, which means that we will allocate a certain number of our tokens to our partner games. So you would be able to go into Apeiron, and in your typical loot box that you would have gotten in a certain scenario, if you're a Polemos member, you might get some Polemos tokens in addition to your standard loot. I don't think you'll find that anywhere else. Our approach and guidance of players is really deep and hands-on.
That's cool.
Um, yeah, so we definitely use the numbers and the analytics, and we definitely utilize blockchain technology in
Hmm.
so many different aspects, from a data and informational source, as well as just us believing that transparency is golden. Um, we want
Good.
people to know what we're doing. We have no secrets.
Well,
We
it's
have a
good.
few secrets, but I can't tell you about them.
I talked to a lot of gaming guilds that look into API integrations and tool developments, and but they're at the same time investing in a huge amount of other games. And I always ask them, why don't you use a third-party tool? If you are investing into so many games, why develop your own? Why deviate the resources? Why not focus back on your community? But on the other hand, then, if you only invest in a few games and you develop tools for those few games, well, well, and if Apeiron is one of them, and if Apeiron is going to last, then you'll develop your own niche tool sets that everyone else will be able to use, and that's much more valuable and as a tool set in my mind. Otherwise, developing mass tool usage for too many gaming guilds will I guess will deviate from the path of
Yeah,
what a gaming guild should already be intended to. But Yeah, well, we'd love to see what tools you guys have been building from the universities and tech stacks that I've seen Polemos was capable of. There are also several other gaming guilds that were introduced along the way with really deep tech stacks. Very interesting. They're more programmers than gamers, but sometimes the passionate programmers are, well, a little weird gamers, but it's still interesting to have them on the table, and they play very differently. If you ever played games with a programmer, um, it's actually quite fun. They are great strategists, and they like round based games. Actually, not sure how
Yeah.
they would perform in an Apeiron. I've seen programmers because a lot of the developers in my company are programmers. They love games, and but they take forever before they make their moves. That's why they love strategy games. The ones that let them plan and strategize and everything. That probably may not. We'll have moments for them pre-game as they strategize and everything, but there's the action element that's going to keep them on their toes. Let's see how the programmers fare over there. Ooh. Anyway, let's continue with some of the questions.
I'm gonna try and like have a little lightning round.
Right.
Let me see. Lloyd is asking, what game can you compare Apeiron with? And the easiest answer to that is none. There are no games that I compare Apeiron with, or I probably wouldn't see Apeiron in the light that I do. I think that it incorporates many different playstyles. It includes all different gamer types, and I think that is extremely rare in this space. The mechanics and the concepts are, yeah, they may have origins and a place where they were born from, but I see Apeiron as unique. And to be truly unique, you
Thanks.
can't have an absolute comparison. How does Polemos promote a balanced life, knowing that most members are hardcore gamers? We have no involvement in that. If you want to spend your entire life gaming, um, I can't tell you anything there. I have 3 kids of my own, and it's difficult to get them to do any one thing. So the life balancing would have to come down to the member. If you're hardcore gamers and you love gaming, then I say go for it. We all have to decide for ourselves what is appropriate, for us. So
as a fellow passionate gamer, what's appropriate is always a tough balance.
It's an interesting question from Lex J. Apeiron mentioned about potential cultural and religious backlash. Is it related to being a God game? I think people need to, first of
That's
all,
one's for me to answer, isn't that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I've been asked that, being the cultural backlash and everything. We do take into account the different mythologies that we're working with. We've talked to a lot of the different local gaming guilds and people from the areas. There's 2 precautions that we take. After all, we don't want to be too touchy on the subjects, so we rename most of the concepts and everything um, around many different gods. But it's pretty blatant and obvious which gods we're talking about. And I really want to draw on South Park. It's the one episode that I truly love, and the run statement about South Park that sticks with me throughout. It's if you make fun of one, make sure you make fun of them all. So an Apeiron, well, I think the essence of Web3 is truly the freedom of speech and creation, and we will exercise that. But of course, not to the South Park point of that sort of direction, but in a more lighthearted fun and a duty style to recreate different creation myths. At the same time, it's the way we present the story sometimes is, in my mind, is we present the angles, we present the situations. It's up to the users to decide what's good or evil, what's duty, what's not. But everything is better with humor, I think, with the dudes around everything. And there'll be moments in Apeiron with choices, good or evil, maybe deeply reflective of many other situations. But we take a light heart to it, and will it be offensive to some? Maybe. There's different kinds of people around this world that may take other things very seriously, especially when it comes to religion. But we'll try to be as accurate as we can be, and as duty as we can be. If it really comes down to religion backlash and everything, then we'll just have to own it up because we did that. We published that, and we'll try to stay as true as we can to it. Even South Park got their stuff censored after tons in episode 300 and 301, I believe, or was it 501 and 500? But we're in the Web 3. We can do that, but of course we're not doing it to the point to be disrespectful of any original myth creation myths. We did exactly this project with these creation myths in mind because I am super big on lore and creation myths, gods, universe, space. It's just immensely intriguing and interesting to me, and I would love to talk about all these stories in a sense to promote different cultures and religions, and in different ways. And the only thing I'm concerned with if my stories seem to be biased or even racist or being unfair to certain religions, then I will definitely listen to those advices and make changes. But I will only make changes because the overall story and feel is not is not fair for everyone. So that's what we're trying. But religious backlash, I bet there will be some. There'll always be some. There's just some for Harry Potter. There's some for everyone. Great stories will always get great controversies. But I think it's part of the well, honestly, it's part of the fun and part of the I wouldn't say marketing, but it's really part of what makes stories interesting. So, before I babble on, back to you.
I literally I just
How's
had to check my calendar because I was like, "Is there another meeting I'm supposed to be in?"
oh boy. Oh,
No,
but
fortunately not.
it's on the 12 a.m. mark. Sometimes I miss the 12 a.m.s because it's on the other day side of the day. So I'm good. I'm not gonna stay longer. Yeah, let's keep going.
Baby Tiger is asking Polemos to reward any scholar like airdrop or something special. We do have giveaways. We have actually some pretty interesting, offerings, and we try to get people whitelist spots and this and that. Um, when you take away the cost of a giveaway versus the result or the production of it, it's usually a losing battle. We really don't get much of anything. We have so many people join, to win that planet or to win that apostle leak. But like a lot of these people leave right after that. So, yes, we do incentivize our community, and we do like to do things. We have giveaways where people can add to the lore behind Polemos. You probably won't find that in any other gaming guild. I don't know, maybe, but we have a pretty rich lore behind Polemos, and yeah, we do reward our community if that's what you want to call it that. But I'd say more than those airdrops and things like that. We actually really take the time to educate our members properly. There was a mint coming up for a specific um, game, and the um, YGG had an AMA the day of mint, and none of their members knew how to mint. They didn't know it was on Polygon. They didn't know how to bridge. They didn't know the costs involved in the bridge. And so what you had was this large community of people asking a million questions on the day of and being very misinformed or uninformed. Whereas we had spent time to educate people on all of these things, had a very successful minting process. It's we can give things out to our community, or we can help them truly. Giving assets to one person, or a couple people that win something doesn't do anything for anybody except those couple lucky lottery winners, and maybe they go and sell their asset. Maybe they go and sell a planet for point 0.3 or whatever, and that's great for them. But how
Mm-hmm.
much could they have made if they were made aware of how to utilize that asset, and how to take that, and even if they're not playing it, even if they're lending it out, what was the opportunity cost for having sold it at that time? So information is so much greater than an asset. Understanding how to use what you've been lent will make you more profitable than having been lent more stuff. If you can't manage it properly, then what was the point? So yes, we do have things. There's no exclusion. Um, like our giveaways are for whoever it's intended for, whether it's a hoplite, meaning that you've joined us and taken the short little quiz to be kind of fully operating in our
Mm-hmm.
in our guild. But information, we airdrop information all the time. We have AMAs all the time, um, daily events basically to get everybody involved. So we don't just cater to any one group of people, or this or that. We inform our community at large. But
Mm-hmm.
we'll get off of that. Lloyd is asking, what advice would you give for other small guilds? And
Ooh, I
having
love this one. I
been
love this one. Where is
a
it? Where is it? Can you tag it? I'm gonna mark this one.
yeah. Um,
Mm.
so my advice, because I've run a bunch of very successful small guilds, is really focus on the community aspect. Focus on surrounding yourself with like-minded gamers that are in it to support each other. Because if you have, and every guild does, that one or two kind of all-star egotistical gamer that may carry you, they're usually far more damaging to the culture, the atmosphere, and the success, honestly, long term. So my advice on small guilds is surround yourself with the type of gamer that you are, or the type of gamers that you want. If you're a casual, family-oriented guild, then kick that egotistical, hardcore gamer out. They're not doing anything for you. Um, Success is measured in so many different ways, and I think the major appeal to a guild from a traditional standpoint is community, feeling at home, and knowing that the information you're getting is correct because you have people that care about the game, and they're finding out the right stuff. You know, um, Being accessible, like a guild is a family. And so if you're in a very small, hardcore guild, and hardcore could mean any type of facet that they really focus on, you're not going to really gain much by having all types of different gamer styles and this and that. Like, it's not going to be very cohesive or anything. It's not going to flow seamlessly from person to person. Everybody has to be on the same page, because just like if you were to plan a vacation of going to the beach, you don't want Mrs. Lorekeeper to be packing for the mountains, while you're packing for the beach, and the kids are bringing their bikes. Like, everybody has to be on the same page. And when you have all of these people working together and enjoying each other, you will be far more successful. Um,
Mhm.
and that's the basis of a guild.
Ooh, I like this. I was just talking to another small gaming guild today, from Singapore, and they're very passionate bunch, and they are very, but they are a very well. I'm not being racist, but they're very Singaporean. The way they structure their guilds is very clean and very structural, and it's great. But they lack that element that you just talked about. But I guess it's two different ways with which one guild can evolve. You can either be very passionate, very niche, very specialized in certain areas of gaming or gameplay styles, and then you are a happy bunch that are very that evolve around that. And from one idea and from one core passion principle, it can really spin out and grow organically from that end. Well, on the other end, which is actually they may scale faster because they have a much more stronger structure and guild and a team structure and community and that all. But sometimes they would have to compete with the larger ones that are way more well structured and have other benefits and structures. And so they really have to find their own every gaming guild out there. If they don't have enough resources or the right leadership and the right marketing angles, after clean and solid structure they are developed, they really must specialize. But I don't know. I'm still meeting a lot of many different gaming guilds every day, and I've yet to find one real way. I guess there's no real one. Well, any one real way that gaming guilds can just thrive. It depends on the local cultures, where they start off, how they start off, who are the initial members, the budgets they have. I guess it's a bit of everything. But passion is always a good place to start. And but passion only starts so far and carries you so far. It's gaming guilds entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurship is tough as bricks. You just have to stay true to what you want to build and stay true to the ground and principles and just stick through no matter what anything throws at you. That's the one real way for not just gaming guilds, but really anything you start in life. And you have to find equally crazy people who's willing to believe in the same things you do and just stick through. But there's a
Sometimes
Chinese saying,
people
yeah,
DM me and go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah,
Finish that
well,
thought.
yeah. One thing though,
Chinese saying.
jumping ahead, the Chinese saying is it's called it's actually easy to to go through hard times and hardships together. It's actually harder to share wealth and share successes, but that's something in the later stage. But I'll go through the hardship first, guys. Go through the hardship first, and then when the wealth comes, people may change. Money always changes, friendships, relationships, and anything. But there are always ones who stick through and who will shine through everything. So take your time and meet your people. Uh, from my own private equity and management experiences, I can tell you a good team can only synergize over 3 years. uh, or good relationships can only solidify after 3 years. You know the
Yeah.
saying that familiarity breeds contempt. Survive that, and you have something great. If you don't, part your ways maturely and move on. By the way,
Absolutely.
this is moving on to like really philosophical realm now. Let's go back to the questions and the other stuff.
I do want to going on that like kind of community and passion and all of that though. You can actually DM me or Sasha or Jeff or any of our Hyatt people, and we'll respond. It might be a day or two before I get back to you because understand that we do have 11,000 people in our Discord, and I talk to anybody that talks to me. Um, because this is a family, to me. That's how I've always run my guilds, and it's kind of rare. And I always warn people about DMs. Don't ever click on anything you didn't ask for. Don't click on links. I don't care who it's from. There's better ways to find the source. Go to the Discord's official link section. This or that. But people can approach me, and I will talk to you. I don't care who you are, or like I'm more than happy to have a conversation with anybody. And I'll always get back to you. And I don't think you'll find that everywhere you go. Like a lot of people won't DM you, or they think that you're trying to scam them or this or that. Like it does matter, like that what you present, what you show matters, and you have to be able to back that up. Guilds are families from the traditional sense, and the way that they've always come up, whether they're hardcore or casual or whatever. It's family, it's a support system, and you have to find that, in the guild that you have. If you are asking questions that are not getting answered, extrapolate that. Think like, well, what happens 6 months down the road when I'm in this like situation in a game, and I could, lose a ton of value, or I could gain a ton of value. Is that person going to be there at that time when I need them to help me realize that value? You have to be able to communicate and operate with your guild, with your people. If you can't, no hard feelings. Like, I don't. People have left Polemos for this or that reason, and that's their choice. I want people to be happy where they're at. We don't really have like rules. We don't have like scholar criteria, this or that. We're just this open-ended family that's trying to help people out. I did want to touch on Jay Lottie Bell's comment about game data being invaluable for improving player and audience experience. So how can Polemos leverage and enhance its data analytics capabilities to enhance its community experience? We have employed some amazing minds that are extremely accomplished in analytics frameworks and structures that have developed things for governments, hospitals, fintech. We have an expansive analytics team, and so um, you can't see that up front, but they are there. If you look at our core contributors and our department leads, there are analysts in there. We have some serious mojo going on in that department, and I would say that is probably our bread and butter.
Mhm. It's
Really, we have all the number crunchers you could ever want, and from amazing backgrounds. Um, so yeah, we've got that in spades.
awesome. Awesome. I like the mojos. And it'll be a good mojo. Okay. Well,
Peterson is asking,
uh,
Polemos open vacancies for 2D animators and designers. My question is, what benefits do I get when I join and get selected? These are jobs. This is a paid position. This isn't like a benefit kind of thing. Like, it's an actual paid job. So you could quit your other job and work full time for us, and get paid to be immersed in the GameFi world. So not really a benefits thing. It's just like a straight up job as you would imagine it. Um, Polemos Guild member,
practical.
majority heart, malice or virtue. Um, Man, I'm gonna have to say virtue. We have a lot of really
Really?
caring individuals that really want to grow together. And I think that one of the cool things about Polemos is that we have really competitive players that understand you don't have to be trying to think of a non derogatory term. You don't have to be a jerk to be successful, and so we have a lot
Actually,
of
you know
really
what? I
awesome
think
players
I'll
that are not
beg
jerks.
to differ on this answer for you for the Polemos Guild. I think most of the Polemos Guild will choose the Heart of Malice, but they'll end up being on the good side. That's the same as pretty much guild fight. It's just the Heart of Malice doesn't necessarily mean evil or anything. It's just naughty fun and good warlike fun and everything to be a bit naughty and playful. But when it comes to taking care of the dudes and everything, I'm telling you, it will be quite an experience as you tally up all the results. It's player choices. I'm always interested in looking at overall player choices that were made in many alignment games in the past, such as Mass Effect and Dragon Age. Everyone is different, I guess. And well, it's pretty typical. I can share some statistics with you. The overall statistics from the verifications, a lot of them are from the bots, but obviously most people would think the world picks mostly good over evil, and that is true. That is true. But on the ratio, it's a good clean ratio, cutting out all the bots and before the bot events and all the airdrop and the whitelist grinders coming in. The ratio has always been around three 3 to 2. 3 to 2 is a good ratio of the organics. 3 would choose well, 2 would choose evil. Guildfire surprised me. After I did the Guildfire MA, a whole bunch of Thai crowds came in, and we got a huge boost in the Heart of Malice. But the Thai people are always so nice and so happy, and was surprised. I was also expecting a huge wave of angels coming in, but I end up having more demons on those 2 days. Like the Heart of Malice, not demons. Would be interesting to see how the Polemos crowds are looking at. Even Asteristy is a Heart of Malice. Here the comment. Asteristy, why did you pick Heart of Malice? And you continued down the path of evilness, Aster.
I think you actually just answered it already. I chose Heart of Malice, but then I'm the type who likes to help.
But you continued down the path to a black heart. Let's see what Atrix chose. Atrix chose the Heart of Malice as well.
It's really difficult. I'm thinking back to my days of Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh yeah.
And when you would like really try hard to maximize the dark side or something, and you would think that you're like choosing a dark side option, and then you choose it and you get light side points, and you're like, what the heck? And it really it really makes you sit down and think, what made it what was it that made it that way? And I think it's really interesting when you get to these really like deeply complex philosophical questions because yeah, it's just a simple yes or no kind of A or B question, but there's really a lot of nuances and so much to it and so many different ways of you might think that this is a good choice and then it's like no, that was actually the evil choice that you made. So I used to try and just play for that alignment factor.
Hmm.
And it was always crazy to me, like how I would choose wrong from time to time. And if I just wanted to choose what I would normally choose, then I would end up light side. So it's like it's even harder for me to like choose to do, bad things, even though it's the game that literally affects nothing but some zeros and ones. And you know,
Good.
and it's like it just cracks me up that whole element. um, the alignment element is actually a really cool aspect um, to bring into play. It's really funny to see how people um, react to that. Mark Lazaro is asking how to join Polemos. So maybe Frank would be kind enough to post a link somewhere
Oh yeah.
to.
To take a look at the levels, I got the invite link right here. Do I get
Lex
some?
J is asking, do dudes die when you don't feed them?
It's a heated debate over here whether the dudes should die or not because there's the franchise angle to worry about because we do want to develop into a full-blown franchise in the later parts of Apeiron. If dudes do die, we actually have a huge segment of gamers to answer to, and so there's the talk of not letting dudes die, or just sort of ease up on the idea of them dying. But I think I'm the one who advocates death. It's just more realistic for God games and the idea. And but yeah, a lot of people don't want to see the dudes die. It's too cute, and we'll see how we handle that part. It's one of the toughest debates probably. that we'll have to go through whether we go for the the more darker story path and more realistic and actually more fun story path, or the mass adoption approach. The franchise guys all told me to go easy on the dudes, and I honestly I think I love the dudes most compared to most people, but still, interesting stories need depth, and gods and mythology is all about depth. So I want to create a good god game mythology franchise
Yeah.
without filtering death in my eyes. But we'll see. The dudes have grown on me over all these years, and we'll just try to make the death less graphic, I guess.
Right, there you go.
Not sure. But yeah, but well, the easier way to handle this would be to be more political neutral. As if you don't feed them, then they won't grow. Will the numbers diminish? Hmm. That is a game design question, actually, and a game player incentive question. Um, I'll have to let Lawmaster answer that because actually I didn't know that one. I know they would definitely stop growing the numbers because on the planet side, the followers is on the number. It's just like an aggregate number on the mana generation and souls that you can have. But will it diminish if you don't feed them? Hmm. Up for debates. That's a game design question. I'll be able to answer that closer to the launch.
Yeah. Florence is saying, I want to start a guild, but I got nothing. I'm literally going to start from the ground. Any tips? So my first tip is to find the people that you enjoy talking with, and put yourself out there and say, hey, I'm starting this guild. Who wants in? This is the focus. Like I want to be a mid-core guild where we kind of dabble in casual and hardcore, or I just want to be like hardcore. I want 20 of the top players to play in your guild. You have to know what you want from the get-go, and then you have to put yourself out there. You have to be really um, outgoing, and really it takes a lot to keep a guild together. There's so many reasons why people would want to go somewhere else, that you have to be, as the leader, you have to be the key differentiator as to why people stay. And that is done because you have the same interests, the same goals. You're accessible, you communicate, all of these different things. It's a very responsible job, and the success of it depends on you. And so you have to be married to it. It has to be like you wake up and you check your guild. You go to sleep, but you check your guild first. You know, that's what makes the really successful guilds. Like I've had people with real life problems, unable to pay the rent, where other guildies have come in and helped them out because they're so tight knit. They're such good family that they really care about each other. And I'm not going to pay your rent, so don't take it that way. But I've got too many people in my guild. But
You get many
it's
people in your guild if you pay their rent, man.
yeah,
No.
it's a labor of love. It really is. You really have to love what you do, and you have to really be invested into it.
Alright.
100%, because as soon as you're not, you're going to lose people, and so you are the glue, and you have to have that mentality, and go into it saying, what do I want? What do I really want for this guild to be? And then make that happen. Identify what you want, and then identify how to make that happen, and go do it. It's a time consuming job. It is not for the faint of heart. Um, I know, because there's
Mm.
been a million times when I'm like, why am I spending so much time doing this? X, Y, and Z aren't even listening to me. They're over here questing something irrelevant. We have a tournament coming up that nobody's prepared for. It can be very stressful and frustrating. And so usually I recommend people begin in a casual sense, and really ramp up. I mean, if you're a hardcore player, go for it, and surround yourself with like-minded people, but have a plan.
I'd say if they haven't tried anything, then just go try it first. I mean, starting a gaming guild and starting a group or starting a Discord channel is really not that hard. But just
Nope.
probably just if you really haven't really done it, then only place is to really just execute and try it. It never hurts. Starting a gaming guild probably won't require too much resources if you start it small. Nobody's trying to tell you to go for a 200 sized gaming guild in the beginning. Get some NFT assets, rent it out, start your work. Depending on how you want to shape it, really. But a gaming guild or a guild in Apeiron. A guild in Apeiron, you need to purchase a star, and you can start your own alliance. Get other players to orbit around your stars, depending on how you want to pitch yourself, depending on the passions that you have. John have mentioned. Oh my God, sorry. Hot sauce have mentioned, and
You can call me John. I don't care.
all right, yeah, and work from there. But if it's a gaming guild that you're going after, are you familiar with the scholarship models, scholarship management, the tools that are used? Well, it's not that hard, really, as long as you have the right assets. The easiest way, honestly, go get a bunch of Axes, experience it, or a bunch of Legacy, and then just try it yourself. Never, don't just start one because you hear it's great, everyone's doing it and everything, but uh, just Sean did. He started gaming guilds, and he started back when we played World of Warcraft and all things. Something he has a passionate about, and he knows what he's doing. Don't go for the trend just because that's what everyone's doing. That is very dangerous mentality, I tell you. And that is you will fall prey to a lot of Web3 scams and tactics if you don't really understand what you're going to get your hands on. Oh my God, I'm deviating and babbling on my own.
Well,
Let's continue with.
Polemos actually has onboarded whole guilds, and we don't we don't require people to change their tags or to. There's a no strings attached policy with
Oh, that's
Polemos.
interesting.
If you're a scholar and you don't want to be a scholar anymore, just say, hey, I don't want to be a scholar for you guys anymore, and we'll redelegate the assets there's no hard feelings in any of this. Peterson asked a really good question. Why did Polemos choose Illuvium as a partner?
Oh,
And this is an amazing question, which is the basis of why Polemos came about. We chose Illuvium as a partner, or really, we all came from Illuvium because the people that came from there understood that if a game was going to be viable in a play to earn space or play and earn mentality, then it was going to have to be a good game. And Illuvium has 220 people on staff now, and they are going to create a fun AAA game. And that fun AAA game is going to be profitable for the people that play it, not just for the guild that's lending out assets or this or that. The game is going to make a lot of people rich, a lot of people that really want to sit down and grind. Um, we have a scholarship method of devoting assets to a person where they have to pay a certain amount back, and then they unlock their account and those assets. So if you were a scholar for us in Illuvium, you would only have to yield X amount, and then you get everything that's in your account, and you have to pay for that account by selling some of the alluvials or this or that. But we're not here to keep you as a scholar, in this big wheel grinding for us. We actually want to graduate you from one side of the fence and put you on the other, where you are lending out your own assets to other scholars. And so this is like one massive differentiator about how we're approaching the scholar model. But we chose Alluvium because it offers that ability. It offers a clear, fun game that people have enjoyed in different elements and capacities in other games. And we Polemos is only concerned about aligning themselves with good games that will stand the test of time. Um,
mhm.
and so that's why we chose Alluvium. That's why we chose Apeiron. we want to put ourselves in the best games, because those are what's gonna give people back that money or reward for the time that they put into it.
We'll
A lot of
definitely
these
try to do that.
extraction, yeah, a lot of these extraction play and earn. I don't know if they're actually rewarding you correctly for the time that you're putting into it, because when you talk about like these games that require a curve to get up to full earning capacity. You have to play for 2 months before you're sufficiently geared to tackle the harder things and make more money. Um, those are the games that are going to survive. If you can literally jump into a game and start making dollars without having any skill or anything, people are just going to bleed that tank dry really quick. When you have a game where you have to strategize, where you have to cooperate, where you have to have all these different elements to make money yourself, then that's the one that's going to cater to the hardcore gamers that perpetuate games, that get married to a project and stay there. So yeah, we chose Illuvium because they're going to make a good game, and we chose Apeiron because they're making a good game.
Thanks. Would love to meet the Illuvium development team someday and share some notes and insights. But I guess they're pretty busy all the time. But anyway, I'll try to reach them out and see what I can learn from
Also,
them.
Kieran, the CEO or
Mm-hmm.
co-founder of Illuvium, is also one of our advisors to Polemos, so I guess you could say that
Oh, wow.
is another
Would love to meet him.
reason. He is busy.
I bet
Like
he
every
would
time I
be.
talk to him, he's in such a rush.
Oh,
Uh,
all right. Any questions? I keep seeing a
yeah.
lot of chit chat floating up. That's about it. Um,
Ladai Dama is saying, I'm new in professional gaming and I would like to ask if one can make a good living from playing or participating in a guild. I don't have any statistics to necessarily share, but a guild is going to support you to be more profitable than you would if you were a solo entity. And a guild can lend you assets so that you can try something before you buy and get into it. You don't have to be um, in a certain income bracket to be a scholar. I personally have applied to be a scholar for some of the games that we're in because I want to try it out. I don't necessarily want to spend $400 to realize that I just don't care for the game. So there's a lot of advantages to the guilds as far as like being profitable. And yes, you can make an amazing living. I solely supported myself and my family off of gaming last year, and it is entirely possible to make a very very nice income from gaming, but you have to really understand the project longevity. Is this a get in and get out type operation where the extractors are going to bleed it dry within 2 months? Um, like you really have to factor in all of these different things. It's I always tell people to do their own research. Getting into this space a couple years ago, I spent so much time researching projects, trying to understand the technology, doing this and that, where I feel comfortable when I look at something that I can say, yeah, that I believe that to be true, or that seems right. But if you're new as a professional gamer and you want to make a living in the P&E or P2E or Win2E, whatever space, then you are going to have to do a lot of research and really find those couple gems. I just feel like if you're going to spend money on a game, and I can point out a couple different games that I bought into where I did not even make my original investment back, and sometimes even at an aggressive kind of like sell-off schedule. Um, it's
Mm.
it's really easy to get into these games where you don't make your ROI, and I have we get approached. Palmas gets approached by so many games, and they tell me their ROI. I don't want to know that, because you can't honestly tell me that in a month that rate of return is going to be the same. You don't actually know that, so don't tell me that. That's a huge turnoff to me. As soon as you tell me what the ROI is, then my whole belief is that you're only in it for the money because you think that I'm only in it for the money. And that's just a terrible approach to take. So do your research. And on that note, don't click on a single link that you didn't ask for. Don't click on links in DMs. Always feel free to go public with something. If somebody linked something to you that you're unsure of, talk about it in general chat. Bring it up. Like, don't fall victim. I can't. Um, I get frustrated when projects are reimbursing people for having clicked on scam links, flash sales, this and that. You're taking away from a project that did not screw you over. Some
Mhm.
bad actor did. And yes, the project is doing a wonderful thing in reimbursing you, but it was your fault that you clicked on that link. It was your fault for not saying, "Hey, I thought you guys said you were never going to do a flash sale. What gives?" It's your fault for, if the Discord got hacked, not going on to Twitter and saying, "Hey, what's going on with the Discord? This seems off." It's, like, don't
Mhm.
be the victim. It's your job to be safe. It's your job to not click on that link or to ask the right questions. Do your own research. This isn't just a statement, it's for real. Do your own research. I can't tell you how many times I've almost clicked on something and I had to say, wait, is this like a copycat Discord? Does somebody mimic another, another Discord person that I may associate with? Like, I do not trust anything in this space, and I have not been hacked yet. Don't trust anything. Do your research. Do your research about games, about projects and teams, because there's a lot of lies out there. And for somebody like me that's been uh, really, really looking at like so many different projects and so many different teams, like it's easier for me to kind of like pick those out. Go to your guilds, go to the public forums, whatever, and ask questions. Don't be afraid. Like, nobody, I haven't seen anybody in this space really knock anyone for asking a question at all. This is like the most helpful space I've ever been a part of, and I love it. I wouldn't be here without some very important people having taken me under their wing and explaining just a whole bunch of stuff to me. I would not be in this position. So it's because of other people's generosity and helpfulness that I am able to return that, and to be generous and helpful to the people that approach me. This is a community space. The whole, blockchain world is one large community, and we all really need to band together to realize the potential profit in games. You're not going to get the most profit from being exclusive and from not being a community involved member. You really won't. Like, it's guilds, communities make this whole space go. And so when you're working against that, you're working against yourself. You will be more profitable by working with other people and sharing the pool than you will be if you work. Didn't you just say it's hard to share wealth?
It
Not too
is.
long ago, Frank? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Get the help that you need and help people, in turn. Like, it's really, this space is amazing.
Mm.
I
The
love this
quote is
space.
the quote is hard to share. It's it's not just wealth. It's hard to share riches. Is more the Chinese saying that goes with it. Just wealth sharing and everything is okay, but it's the sharing success, sharing. It's not just success. It's after that. The saying is, I don't know how to say it. 功夫公平容易功夫难. It's it's just sharing riches. Like when there's a huge success, the huge riches, there's fame, there's great amounts of money, and everyone's is supposed to take their cut and be happy and share that. But it's not as easy as everyone seems. Uh, it's like it's not it's only then that the real sometimes, well, it's just how wealth and fame can get to different people and different tiers, and those who are truly able to share the success, the wealth, and the credits, I think, are the ones that are really, really great teams and great friendships to be had. But anyway, that's a different topic over there.
I'm
Still a
gonna
long way for me to reach there.
yeah. I was gonna say I'm gonna answer one more question that I see here,
Oh,
and then I'm just gonna have like a little parting note. But Ladai Dama
all
is
right.
asking, are all the transactions between guild parties based on trust, or is there a well-organized system solving the trust challenges? So, going back to that how do we integrate blockchain technology? Blockchain is built on a trustless system, meaning that you don't need to involve trust because there's no way to be devious about it. If you have a contract, you can have that contract audited, and that is the terms. There is no gentleman's agreement or none of this. Like everything on the chain, you can see it. I can follow the money or follow the trail, as they say. I can see all of these different things. So I think it's amazing that we are kind of like expanding into this trustless system. And I think trustless is something that's really hard for people to wrap their heads around because it's not the opposite of trust. It is the absence of
Mm,
trust being a factor in it at all because it's just facts. It's just a solid concrete contract that doesn't change. And trustless is great. It's where we should be. Um,
I think this is dwelling too deep into philosophical region that we maybe begin losing the crowd after a 2.5 hour AMA. uh,
right, I know, yeah.
uh,
I try to make
uh,
myself available for the people that um, that benefit from it. Like I'm not going to be in a lengthy AMA where the people aren't interested or whatever.
well,
So
no, still got
the
good
fact
80
that we still
people
have
listening.
this many, I know the fact that we still have this many people listening is impressive because just like you, I can drone on, and sometimes like I will forget, and in the middle of my statement, I'll be like, what was the original question? I'll have to like go scroll back up and find it,
Oh, I do that all the
find out
time.
what I'm actually answering. I know I do too. But this is really kind of the essence of Polemos is like we're here. We're gonna stay late to help you out, and
Awesome.
we're a 24/7 operation, and it's grueling, it's taxing. This space does not sleep, and therefore neither do we half the time. I know Frank probably hasn't had a good sleep schedule in years. That's his
Uh,
choice. But no, like I just want to part by saying that regardless of whether it's Polymus or whomever, find yourself a great support group and really utilize them and add to them. You know, take knowledge and add knowledge. Do your part and just reap the benefits of this awesome time that we're in this emerging play to earn space because it's really it's not play to earn. It's not any of these acronyms that we've given to it. It's companies transferring ownership of what you have earned to you. It's just the fact that you now own that sword or that planet or that token or whatever. You own that and you can choose what you want to do to it. That is amazing. That is where gaming should have been at forever ago. And it didn't need a cool, kitschy play to earn name to get there. It just really required some of these gaming studios to understand, hey, I'm going to make an absurd amount of money anyway. I might as well give these assets to the people that are spending the time to earn them, that are keeping my game alive because they like playing it and they like being here. And this should have happened a long time ago. And I am just very fortunate that we're in this time now. And I'm fortunate that Apeiron has an amazingly well-detailed structure on how their economy, in-game economy, is going to flow and work. They have thought about all of the angles, and we're going to the moon together. So I really
Thank
appreciate
you, John.
everybody that listened to my droning on and on, but we're in the right place. So I look forward to the future.
Thanks, Hot Sauce. Thank you, Polemos. I'll leave the Polemos um, Discord over here at the very end of this session, and I'll cut off the chats. Yeah, thank you for your time, and it's Friday night over here in Asia and Hong Kong. And I hope the other Asians here will have a great night ahead of them, a great weekend's rest. And John, I know it's time to begin work for us because weekends are where the
Yes.
family is. So, and well, good luck, and do take time for your family. Would like to have a little chat in our DMs, see how things are doing. And then off to work we go, I guess. Well,
Yes.
thank you for your time, dudes. Thank you for your time, everyone. This is Polemos, one of the gaming guilds that I'm very bullish on, and on my cap table. And I'll be introducing many other gaming guilds that will come into space. Take your pick on your own gameplay styles, your own gaming guild styles that you like, and join the fun crowds that will be playing in Apeiron, both as friends or foes or anything relationship that you want to form with them. So yes,
Usually both
just
at the same time.
enjoy. And thanks, Polemos. Look forward to jumping on to your guild next week and doing more introductions and talking more about Apeiron and the constellations Polemos is going to get and everything.
Yes. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to that. It's been a real
and now
pleasure.
I'll love to play a game as well over there. Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We have them all the time. People, y'all can come over and get into any of our game nights or just start something and stream it. You'll have like 8 people, jump in right away anyway. So
Awesome.
check us out.
Always
It's been
always a
a
pleasure, John.
pleasure.
All right.
Absolutely.
A
Thank
great
you.
weekend ahead.
All right.
All
Take
right.
care, everybody.
Take care. Thank you for your time, everyone. It's now time for me to get straight back to work. Got a whole bunch of SAPs designed, and looking forward to next week's AMAs. I won't host an AMA this weekend. I'll take a break because I need to catch up with all the white papers. The SAFs. Actually, I still have to touch up on the white paper a bit, and then I'll get on the AMA next week. I think we are going to host a game AMA next week, and so there'll be a poll that I'll be announcing later with different games. Let's play together as you listen to me babbling on about some questions the community does have regarding our community rounds, regarding the breeding, the planets, and the any other questions you guys may have regarding the game. And yeah, was hoping with the closing of the seed round that I'll be a bit more free, but turns out closing the seed round and the announcements push the speed towards more people and more meetings. But we'll get through them anyhow, and the community will be getting a much needed revamp. Half based on Asteristi's suggestion to clean up, and the other half really to kickstart the Road to Apeiron with some old artwork and a new channel for the Omega clubs to take a look at the leaks. The OGs will also have access, and it's some of the leaks on the artworks that will be coming up, not polished, be warned. It's from a lot of our little duty artists before the artworks get polished by the Holy Trinity. It's what they look like. I think a lot of them have little great ideas. Would love for you guys to be gentle and supportive for our duty workers here, our team. We employed a lot of new young artists over here. Most of them are like females because the office is highly saturated in males. And so yeah, they are working on interesting new stuff as well as some side projects to make some fund. And would like to open up a channel for them to post their works here to share their work to the crowd. And I'll I'll continue to update Road to Apeiron with some of the really old stuff and some of the works from our previous teams and members that contributed to Apeiron. And we'll go back to organizing events. Please note, there'll be monthly events organized. We're trying to come up with a calendar with the council, a much more longer calendar on community events, and you'll be able to see that we'll have community events, we'll have OG events, we'll have Omega, Primeval Planet holder events, according to different tiers, of course. So everyone gets to participate in different tiers of fun and Apeiron. And as always, open to suggestions and new daddy memberships and new daddy applications or referrals from the daddies to grow a more engaging crowd. And I am beginning to meet a lot of fellow different gaming guilds and games, so to speak, to play with their communities. Maybe someday we'll raid another Discord community to just play a game night over there, win some rewards as a Apeiron community, maybe. Or as your gaming guilds, that's okay. But let's begin to have some run around town with all the other good games or the good gaming guilds out there and form a much grander or greater community. I'm sure you will meet along the way many other gaming guilds or games that Apeiron will be partnered with, and I'll try to be as selective as I can or as helpful as I can for some of our other Wranglers and Daddies projects. And let's see where we go from there. But before that, take a good rest and have fun over the weekend. And I'll be seeing you guys around. If anything, DM me. Always available to answer DMs. But I never DM you, okay? So don't get scammed. There are a lot of dudes getting scammed out there, and really pains my heart to see them. I don't want to say I help some of them, but I do on a personal capacity. To be fair, but please don't try to scam me or prey on my soft heart. It would just backfire and end up me not helping anyone at all at the end. But if your problem is genuine, if you do have a problem with something, DM me. I'll always be there to help. And thanks for your time, everyone. And thank you, Esther D, for being an awesome host. And yeah, that's about it for me. See you guys next week, I guess, on the EMAs. Let's see which gaming guilds will be on the list. If you have a good one, tell me. If not, I have a whole bunch of small and little gaming guilds around town to introduce you guys. I think
just had to do this.
Okay. All right, so thank you. Good night, guys. All right. Don't stay don't stay up too late, you crazy dudes. All right. Good night.